Hey, yo, we got it going on. I'm here to right all my wrong. Yo, we got it going on. It's for the culture. Yeah. Hey, yo, we got it going on. I bring my niggas together, we transform and become the Voltron. Yeah. We here to right all our wrong. Hey, yo, we got it going on. Yeah. Went through the fire, but it lit up my fuse. I'm blowing up like a bomb. I'll introduce you to God.
I'm teaching essentials, I'm operating at my peak, it's potential. Elijah, he told me to keep it on simple. Through these instrumentals, I speak to your mental. Red, back in the booth, rap to the youth, they was lacking the truth. Back to the seas, they was lacking the roots. Smoked all the trees and they snacking on fruits. Bed, attached to my roof, detached to the roof on the back of the coupe. Back from the future, I'm back in the red and the blue, yeah, I'm back on my snoot. Niggas be biting, they cracking, they tracking, they niggas be capping, they lacking, they put a toe tag on the back of they boot. Battle with nukes, I'm attacking, they truth. I wrote these bars in Sumerian text. The legends of Mu, I'm Sumerian sets. It was written in Targaryen text. Came to conquer all my variants.
Yeah, we got it going on. I bring my niggas together, we transform and become the Voltron. Yeah. We here to right all our wrong. Hey, yo, we got it going on. Yeah. Went through the fire, but it lit up my fuse. I'm blowing up like a bomb. I'll introduce you to God. Back on the mic, was dead on my back, now I'm back on my life. Came back from the future, went back to it twice. When I rose out the grave, they say that dude is Christ. I'ma shine like a star, I'ma twinkle, twinkle as I light up the sky. The whole world was watching on the night I arrived. The Messiah's here, I guess it's finally time. I swear that I hear every prayer that you say. I was there every day, I was still everything in the world.
Chat, what the hell? Whenever they got a pillar at the Vatican. Pope Pablo, where you at?
You either fight or run. Life a game, I feel like I won. Hey, yo, we got it going on. I bring my niggas together, we transform and become the Voltron. We hit the right all our wrong. Hey, yo, we got it going on. Yeah. Went through the fire, but it lit up my fuse. I'm blowing up like a bomb. I'll introduce you to God.
From the quantum shadows, a traveler emerges. Fly Sinet, the multi-dimensional hacker, living his hero's journey. He joins the Pantheon at AI Masters Workshop, November 1st and 2nd, hosted by 363 Empire with Red Pillar and Seven Bomar. Tickets, lock yours in now.
This is the law of mental command. It is the understanding that you are not a victim of your thoughts, but a commander of them.
Peace, family. Peace to you and yours. Peace, family. Peace to you and yours. Welcome to another episode of Third Eye Thursdays. You are now rocking with the best, yes, and this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar. Let me know how we sound on the audio, ladies and gentlemen. Is it crispy? Does it need some fine tuning? Let me know. Please let me know. For anybody that observes the holidays, happy holidays. I'm not a Grinch. I don't want to ruin anybody's day. I think enough people on social media have already put you through the guilt trips of recording yourself wearing matching pajamas and unwrapping presents on the internet. You know that irks people's nerves who consider themselves woke teppers, you know? But I gotta be, I have to acknowledge the Kwanzaa people. I gotta acknowledge the Christmas people. I gotta acknowledge the people who gave up on all of the holidays and they don't do nothing Shout out to y'all too. You feel me? As you know, I could attest that the overall, they say, oh, they taking Jesus out of Christmas. I think they're taking more than Jesus out of Christmas, sir. I think a little bit more than Jesus is being removed. The spell of Christmas, which is, it's a very strong holiday. Make no mistakes about it. I got powerful memories attached to Christmas, right? When I was a receiver of gifts. That's when I was a child, you know what I'm saying? Because, I don't know at what age does the Christmas thing kind of subside for adults, right? I don't know at what age does the Christmas thing subside for adults. Because the way I see it, Christmas is for children, and of course adults. When you got like people in relationships and they exchanging gifts and whatnot, and you showing a sign of appreciation by gifting your lady a coat or a car on Christmas. That's cool. But then there is anniversaries, there is birthdays. You feel me? There is other days that you could actually do that. But yeah, like once again, the overall grip of the Christmas spell, the Saint Nicholas program, that has somewhat been broken. You understand? It wasn't even Christmas in the air. Every year the magnetic pull begins to dissipate. If you get my drift, more people are agreeing not to agree with the agreed upon reality that we used to belong to, where this day, right, was seen as a holy day. This day was seen as, the biggest day of the year. You know what I mean? I saw a video going around where they were saying there was a lady sitting in her car, and she was like, because parents of these days spoil their children, and every other day is like Christmas for their children. Not every other day, but the children, they get a lot of stuff that they want from Amazon. They get to go in Kmart, Target, Walmart, and just get a lot of things. So that appeal of when we were all going through situations where a majority of the households had limited funds and would tell children, you're not getting those sneakers, and that's not happening. We can't afford it. Nowadays, it's a little more affordable. Not to say that everybody could afford it, but there's more parents that are able to get their hands on material items than there was when people were coming up struggling. But for anybody that's not in the States and you're on the outskirts, I'm just letting you know and giving you a little bit of a war report that the universal spell of Christmas in America, right, where this thing was like real big, yeah, it's not the same anymore. The shit don't bite like they used to bite. You know what I'm talking about? People will accept gifts. They wait for the gifts. The gifts is, you know what I mean? The gifts is and once again, mainly for the children. If I had it my way, I would make an alternative to Thanksgiving where people have created Friendsgiving, and I think that should catch that should pick up and become bigger, because Friendsgiving, when everybody comes together, should be about friends gifting one another, but friends also building about business. You know what I mean? Businesses, entities. You feel me? What you call it? Business plans, ideas, things that you could invest in, with places where you could put your money legally, of course, where it could triple, where it could grow, where it could go parabolic. That should be discussed during Friendsgiving. You know what I mean? And if you got people in your blood family that that are about that business and whatnot, that do some type of commerce, you bring them along too, and you make it friends and family. Friends and family. So a lot of people say that they link up with their family on Christmas for family only. And a lot of people say that they link up with the family on Thanksgiving for family only, taking advantage of the opportunity to be amongst loved ones, not ruining the moment and whatnot, not quote unquote, not necessarily pouring, not being a party pooper and not pouring water on the fire that family members bring when they come together and they're so happy and they're so jolly and there's so much in the spirit and whatnot, and they're so they're just so festive. So that in and of itself, the gathering, the connecting, the families, this is a tradition. Even before the pilgrims brought Christmas to this land, the tribes, the indigenous tribes, they had their version of an annual feast where they would come together, exchange gifts and whatnot, drink, be merry, bring family, loved ones, children, newborns. Yeah, that's through all cultures. That's through all cultures. So however you twist it, however you mutated it, however you alchemized it, salute to you. You feel me? Salute to you. You know, it was just, it was a basic day for me. But I was definitely it was a lot of money going out today. Let's just say that. It was a lot of money going out. And that's cool. There's days for that. I'm a giver, I'm a provider. So, giving and making people satisfied, I'm satisfied as the world turns. Today's a crazy day. There's a lot going on. Let's do the roll call. Let's see who's in the building. Then let's go ahead and let's do what we came here to do. Okay? Let's do what we came here to do. And y'all keep unplugging from the matrix. So salute to everybody that's doing that work and taking that leap of faith and going against the norm. It takes a lot. It's not easy. Pattaya, Thailand, the Bronx. Come on, man. New Haven, Connecticut, Longview, Washington, D.C., Longview, Washington. Where's the floods at? Talk to us. Talk black to us. Philly, Northside. Tempe, AZ, Seattle was popping. Big Island, Hawaii, DC, DMV, Modesto, California, Los Angeles, San Jose, Cincinnati, Seven Hills, Ohio. What's going on in Ohio? There's some shit going on in Ohio, right? South Central Los Angeles. Columbus, Ohio. Lex Wexner is starting to get spooky for Lex. The 1 million files about to be released is about to get spooky for Lex in Columbus, Ohio. Pack him up. You know what I'm talking about? Get ready to pack him up. Go to Home Depot and get your shovels. Indianapolis, Queens, the UK, Los Angeles via Detroit, Australia. And Toledo, Ohio. The Oba legend. Yes, you get a book review. I didn't even know that was you. I was gonna say, anybody, let's go. I want to go and do the book review with you at 488 Edgewood. I want to do it with you at the bookstore. We'll go live. Let's go, my brother. And then we'll go on, you know what I mean? And then we'll push that line. Okay. Have I ever heard about the Gnostic version of Jesus? Yes, I have. Jesus has a twin. Cleveland, Tampa, ATL. Oba, you're a legend, bro. We got a lot of shit to talk about. I would love to have you on this program called Silence of the Lames. It's a panel, my brother. I'm inviting you because you cook. This is a kitchen for you right here. You know what I mean? Silence of the Lames. The way that we'll close this year out. We'll talk about that fuck the streets movement. We'll talk about this Nicki Minaj shit. We'll talk about that Ebro shit, that Funk Flex shit. We'll talk about a lot of shit going on in the silence of the lames. Everybody with this cognitive dissonance, all of these bad boy Diddy clones and whatnot that be running around in Atlanta, in New York City, in LA and whatnot. But these niggas is acting like they wasn't playing a part. Things like that. We need to talk about the silence of the lames. All of the niggas who sat around while these motherfuckers pillaged this community, pillaged this culture. But the minute that they get packed up, you niggas is on the front line throwing tomatoes and whatnot. Nah, your silence. Your silence. The whole fuck the streets movement and everything. And you got people pulling up, putting in their 2 cents and whatnot. But them niggas is lames. They were silent. They only going with the bandwagon. They're only blowing with the winds. They only blowing with the winds. You don't listen. You don't have to have a crystal ball to be like, yo, is it convenient to be dumb in 2026, or is it advantageous to start reading books and whatnot and play the part that I'm at least somehow smart in some degree? But then once people get past that, they're gonna realize I have to have some type of gift, or I have to have some skill or superpower, because the bar is being raised. Because it's not just about regurgitating shit anymore. It's about what type of work can you put in, what type of quote unquote provable magic or provable quote unquote applicable wisdom do you have? What kind of tools are you providing? What type of solutions are you applying? Shit like that is coming. So I look forward to it. The days of the charlatan hopefully are over. Y'all niggas was getting on the arc and whatnot. The people that's running, selling everything that they own to get on arcs and whatnot. You know, silence of the lames. You know, silence of the lames. They silenced Wendy Williams so they could take her spot. Ha! Yeah, shout out to Charlemagne. You know, everybody got a mic. Everybody's a gossip queen. Everybody got tea. Everybody want to talk shit. You know what I'm talking about? But nobody, they you know, they all regurgitating shit. They're not teaching about Diddy, and then they forgot to teach about anybody else. The word Clive and the word Davis never came out their mouth. They're not doing investigative reports. They're not taking it past Diddy. They're not giving you the 80% because the documentary that 50 put out, that Boo Boo put out, that Curtis put out, 20% of the Diddy story in that documentary. There was that whole 80% missing, because there's literally 5 people I know that I could count on my hands that was around Diddy a lot. They wasn't even in the documentary. They didn't even talk about the shit that they was into, because Diddy with different people is different experiences, maybe different debauchery, you know what I'm talking about, maybe different quote unquote inroads to some type of hedonism. It's a lot of shit going on. I didn't hear Red Cafe's name. They didn't hearken on the whole D-Rock thing. I didn't see Rube being mentioned. My nigga who was with him a lot, Groovy Lou, right? Farnsworth Bentley. These are the people that really know things. The Sleazy Squad and whatnot. I want the niggas need to get Stevie J and interview him respectfully. Charlestown in the building. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that was missing, and I don't know. Mary's the whole, like, you don't have a documentary if Mary J's not sitting down talking respectfully. They didn't even mention the lawsuit against Diago. Did they even mention the Diago lawsuit? Remember, this dude launched a delivery service. I was going over one of my old YouTubes from like 3 years ago, and we was talking about the whole Diddy shit as it was unfolding. He was launching like a Uber Eats for the fucking liquor and whatnot. That's how bad it was getting. This shit is like a Goodfellas movie. It was the clock was ticking. My nigga was selling. You don't even have interviews for Meech, bro. You don't have Big Meech interviews. You don't have Alex Gideon interviews. You don't have Kenny Burns interviews. What the fuck are you doing? You don't have Groovy Lou interviews. And this is not about trashing him. You feel me? This is not about telling his secrets and whatnot. No, not just answering a few questions. Misa. You know? But there has to be angles and there has to be narratives, of course. So whatever 10 questions that the interviewer will ask every single one of them, those 10 questions will build character witness profiles, psychological profiles, and quote unquote, a little bit of narcissistic personalities and a dark tetrad. We need Diddy to undergo what you would call a dark tetrad personality diagnosis, so you can spot that shit in other people. Narcissistic personality disorder is dangerous. It's dangerous. And unfortunately, yeah, Kenny Burns fake ass shit. Yo, bro, I seen a nigga get on EYL and throw Diddy under the bus, and he positioned himself like he never was. Literally, he was Dolly the sheep at one point, respectfully. You know what I mean? I just got to call it like I see it. And if I'm lying, I'm flying. But he was Diddy's clone. That nigga was Dolly the sheep, Dolly Parton of the bad boy entertainment industry. What are we talking about? Mannerisms. He was a little Diddy. My nigga, old Diddy, right? He's a promoter. That's my guy, right? It was a lot of Diddy. It was a lot of Diddy energy in the town, man. It was a lot of Diddy energy in the town, man. I would love to interview those people or to see them be interviewed and talk they talk. You know? Talk they talk. He has to be held accountable for what he did to them brothers and sisters. Which ones? There's waves of brothers and sisters. What group of brothers and sisters are you actually referring to? Just be clear. I want to be clear as to which ones. You know, just go by the time periods, then I'll be able to know what group of people who got themselves violated by Sean. I'm gonna watch the Dave Chappelle special. I just seen clips, but I did not catch the whole diatribe. I did not catch the Dave Chappelle special, but I'll probably catch it later tonight. Who knows? You know, I gotta catch Stranger Things. I gotta catch Chappelle. I've been working my ass off. I am literally a workaholic right now. So I'm building. I have no time to even give that 1 hour or 2 hours. I'm in building mode. I'm in album mode. I'm in a few modes right now. Diddy is not the last demon. At least he's not trafficking minors or organ harvesting. Real talk. All you got to look at is the movie Sinners that everybody conveniently forgot about. That Remick aspect is real. Diddy is smoke. He think about think vampires and think vampires can make other people vampires. And what they do in the wake of their destruction is they create more monsters like them, to the level of based off of the level of trauma and what is called initiation. Remember, people are going through a high level of hazing rituals when they get with people like Diddy and whatnot. So that high level of hazing is an initiation rites. Once you initiate somebody into what they call the rite through humiliation rituals, like walking for the cheesecake and shit like that, and humiliation rituals, you don't know what he did with them niggas that was trying to clone him, like Kenny Burns and whatnot, at the after party to initiate them into his fold and whatnot. You know, I'm sure that everybody around him got initiated into some type of fold and whatnot, or some type of fraternal type of loyalty test. Oh, Red Cafe. My nigga Red Cafe was close to him too. You know what I'm talking about? And they didn't interview Red Cafe. So it's like, yo, you don't even know the whole half, bro. I want to interview Fabulous and motherfucking Meek Mill. And I want them to be in the same room. And I want to ask them about the matching outfits and all of the rumors. I want Gene Deal, I want Gene Deal to be in the same room with Meek Mill, right? Even if they got to cuff niggas to their chairs and whatnot. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. You know what I'm talking about? Because a nigga could lie to with a straight face when you don't have no pressure in the room with you. Angie Stone told y'all she prayed for Diddy after his party when people were unalive, right? So I heard that Funkmaster Flex, Jessica Rosenblum, the same Jessica that's responsible for the tunnel, and P. Diddy and Heavy D was responsible for 9 people being unalived at City College. That literally was a ritual that kicked off the tunnel era. If you really want to think about it, because if Jessica was involved with City College, that was the 9 bodies that they gave up to whatever entity. Peter Gatien, go and do the research on Peter Gatien, the one-eyed Israeli who owned Limelight, which was a demonic club that dealt with cross-dressers. It brought ecstasy into New York City, and then he ran the tunnel and whatnot. He became one of America's most wanted or some shit, or something like that. Peter Gatien went and did Fed time. He was the ecstasy kingpin. Peter Gatien was the ecstasy kingpin. So Jessica is the same woman that's in the beginning of Belly when they come in the tunnel and whatnot, and they got the blue eyes. The club that's in the beginning of Belly with the blue lights, that's the tunnel. That's the iconic tunnel. That is the bastion. That is the culture. That is the Petri dish. That is the quote unquote that is the playground for New York gangsterism, New York, quote unquote, shiny, the Puff Daddy, bad boy, shiny suit era, Rockefeller era, DMX, Rough Rider era, that whole golden era of New York hip hop, the Benjamins, the Locks, all that shit got cooked up. Biggie, Junior Mafia, it was all cooked up, and it was all like there was Funkmaster Flex was the wizard. He had an elevated position above the bar, and it was almost like he was a fucking warlock, a wizard. And he was breaking records, breaking artists, breaking music, all type of shit. 93, 94, 95, 96, 97. That shit spread, you know? They was breaking. That's when Cash Money started getting popping. Juvenile and whatnot. They playing that in the tunnel. They brought them to the tunnel. You feel me? They brought Snoop to the tunnel. You know, a lot of people coming through there, but the promoter, the main Jewish chick, her name was Jessica, right? So in a Belly movie, they rob Jessica and they shoot her through the window and whatnot. She's Israeli as well. So Peter Gatien, maybe Mossad on some Epstein shit. I promise you, if you go and do the research, I could put money on it that Peter Gatien was in that plane. Here go the money. I got $100 that Peter Gatien was on that plane, and his name is in the books for whatchamacallit, for the Epstein Island. And the show Boys R Us is on the way. The show Boys R Us is on the way. I'm just going through the Epstein files. I'm utilizing this AI that Ian Carroll introduced me to, where he has a new AI, a plugin where you basically could research thousands and thousands of files and whatnot. So they're going to be doing a 1 million file dump on Epstein. So I was going to do the show tonight, but Boys R Us is on the way. It's going to blow you away. You have no idea. We are going deep down the dark web. We're going to go 200 leagues under seas, my nigga. This one is going to be deep, into deep. That's what it's going to be, a version of Into Deep. Because truth be told, I started a series called Into Deep in like 2018. I think the first one I did was with Father Rich on 363 Empire. They had it to where you could do lectures private on there, and we did Into Deep. And it was Into Deep that I was talking about Epstein extensively and like 2018, right? This is what I'm going to be doing. Because we got Notebook LM, and because we got things like Opus, Claude, Opus, and whatnot, I now could take all of these. Remember, you be hearing me complaining. I'm literally, I watch some old episodes and I'm like, yo, I'm saying the same things repetitively year after year after year after year. And now we're finally at a point where my catalog, the whole cache of videos that I've done, I now can feed it through the AI. Yo, AI, give me all of the times where I talked about the fear of a blackamoor Messiah. It's pulling all of those clips. I don't got to even look for it anymore. I got agents working for me. Yo, give me the videos where I was talking about AI. I need proof of work. Go in my archives and give me every video where I mentioned artificial intelligence. Them agents is working, my nigga. And while I'm sleeping, they're doing that. So a lot of content is about to start coming out. We have big announcements coming. It's just that there's work that needs to be done before announcements need to be made. It's similar to like cleaning your house before you invite people over. So during the winter solstice, there's work that needs to be done. You feel me? There's dark night of the soul works to be. There's transformation work. There's cleansing that needs to be done. There's detoxing that needs to be done. There's letting go and detachments that need to be done. So when I come before you and make an announcement about something that we'll be doing that's brand new, is going to be in alignment with a change that's happening from within. It's going to be from within, from without. You know, I was told that, you know, I'm going to have to sacrifice something of very much importance in order to ultimately receive and achieve that which I ultimately desire, and also that which I need. What are you willing to give up to get what you really want? Yo, did you see the trailer for the Odyssey? Fire. Yeah, that shit is fire. Christopher Nolan is doing the mother effing Odyssey, bro. The goddess be looking for the Odyssey. That is going to be epic. Make no mistakes about it. So, man, where do I even start? Where do I even start? A few things are going down, but let's just talk about what's the gorilla or the elephant in the room. America bombed Nigeria on Christmas. I repeat, the USA, under the leadership of Donald J. Trump, who campaigned on being a no-war president, right? On being a no imperialistic president, on being a quote-unquote non-aggressive president, right? But, you know, the shaitan speak with two tongues, right? They speak through the side of their neck. So while he was saying that, he was also speaking about and invoking manifest destiny in his inauguration when he ushered in the golden era or the golden age, right? And then they recently just invoked the manifest destiny when Pete Hegseth, or what we call Pistol Pete, underneath the War Department, he publicly introduced the AI, the weaponized AI system that is, get this, ladies and gentlemen, it is platformed and is powered by Google Gemini, right? The word Gemini, okay? Keep that in mind. So America has Project Genesis, and they also have Gemini, right? And they have launched a weaponized version of artificial intelligence, and Google is behind it, and so is Palantir, right? They just did this about a week or two ago. Pete Hegseth, go and look it up. We call him Pistol Pete, and the War Department, no longer the Department of the State Department. It is now the War Department. And this War Department 20% of their armada currently at this very moment as we speak, right, is surrounding the Caribbean and the quote unquote Latin American, most importantly, the southern borders. I'm talking about the Caribbean Ocean, right? They're in the ocean, they're surrounding South America, and they're surrounding the Caribbean, most importantly, Cuba, Haiti, Jamaica, okay, and they also are encroaching upon Venezuela, Colombia, and vicariously Brazil, right? And they're nestled, they're being assisted by quote unquote Trinidad, Argentina, El Salvador, and a few other of those turncoat nations over there. And it reflects, it harkens back to a situation or situations that were prevalent in that same region in like the 15 and the 1600s with the Spanish Armada, and then the British surrounding them, and other quote unquote pirates who came from the shores of Europe to steal, to pillage, to plunder, to rape, right? And to quote unquote burn to scorched earth, right? And to spread pestilence, to spread Jesus from Caesar Bourgeois, right? That's what they came to America to do. Go and research Hernando Cortez. Go and look up Pizarro, all right? Go and look up Montezuma. Go and look up what they did in Peru, or what they called Heru. The sacking of Heru, right? It shifted the entire financial market in Europe, right? Similar to when Mansa Musa shifted the market when he went into Kemet. The sacking of Peru, the mountains of silver that they were able to quote unquote, and the sacking of Montezuma shifted almost forever the financial markets of Europe. The coffers got filled to the brims and whatnot. This may begin their quote unquote, this may be the beginning of them doing what? Stacking all of these precious metals, all of these resources like the gold and the silver. Venezuela and Nigeria got oil, ladies and gentlemen. What you are witnessing is the beginning of World War Z. And when we say World War Z instead of World War III, it's World War Z because it's World War Zionism. I think that might be the title of this tonight, World War Z. So they're attacking of Nigeria at this time when you have Ibrahim Traore, the Niger and the Mali government, right, and the Burkina Faso government forming an allegiance in that same region that they bombed coincidentally and ritualistically on Christmas. Because when you think about the Nigerians and their ties to what they would call the original Hebrews and whatnot, or the Igbos, that bloodline in Nigeria is one of the pure bloodlines. They are carrying out genocides and wars on every single region where the pure bloodlines, or the bloodlines that were prophesied to evolve during this quote unquote last days and whatnot. The bloodlines that belong to groups of people who belong to ancient bloodlines, but it was prophesied that their DNA, the ones who belong to those bloodlines who will be identified as the chosen ones, their DNA is beginning to get activated from 9-strand to 12-strand by way of interference of, you know, I'm not going to necessarily say the third eye atlas and whatnot. I'm not going to necessarily say that, but I'm going to say it has a lot to do with just the whole story unfolding. That the aspect of eschatology, when you look at this whole thing through the lens of eschatology and whatnot, the Nigerians, right, they're bombing Jerusalem and they're bombing Nigeria, right? That's where it is rumored to be. That's where the original Hebrews were, right? They are bombing Jerusalem as we speak, and they're bombing quote unquote Nigeria, Africans, right? They told you in Avatar they were going to have a war in Nigeria, right? I would love to know how the Nigerians feel about this. because they will fall for the banana in the tailpipe and be like, yeah, they're bombing Boko Haram. And no, nigga, that's Remick. Them bombing on Christmas is the equivalent of them niggas letting in Remick and his two cohorts the first time they knocked for a Christmas party. It's like letting Remick in for a Christmas party. You feel me? That's the level of quote unquote devilishment, right? But the man built the ark to stop the flood, right? They said the man in Africa was scamming the people because he said the flood is coming, right? But I'm here to let you know that he may have been misinterpreted. The flood that's coming to Africa is not a flood of quote unquote coastal waters and whatnot. It's not going to be a flood of waters per se, but it is a flood coming to Africa. Please understand when I say that. By them attacking Nigeria on Christmas, there is a flood that is coming to quote unquote Africa. And remember, we've been hypothesizing, right? We've been theorizing that there's a war against witchcraft. There's a war against quote unquote African traditional systems, whether it be Jamaica, whether it be Cuba, whether it be Venezuela, whether it be Colombia, whatever they doing in them jungles, whatever they doing in them forests, whatever they doing with that wood, with that stick, with that dirt and whatnot, whatever they doing in them goddamn oceans and whatnot, we need to surveil it. We want to disrupt it. We want them plants. We want that plant life. We want them herbs. We want all of that stuff. That plant-based medicine. We want all of it. We want samples, and they want to destroy it on some Avatar type shit. So them bombing a place of black magic, right? Nigeria, a place of melanin magic, Nigeria, a place of quote unquote where the wizards and the warlocks, where them niggas who collect a lot of your bread is chilling in their villages and their huts and whatnot. Just the fact that bombs are dropping in their land on Christmas from a Nicki Minaj endorsed Donald Trump administration is crazy work, my niggas. That is the inroads to them going after Ibrahim in the motherfucking Sahel allegiance. Make no mistake about it. That is a wartime play right there. World War Z, right? So Venezuela is in alignment with Iran. Iran's biggest enemy is the Z, is the world, is the Z boys, right? The Zionists and whatnot. That is their mortal foe and whatnot. So Venezuela becomes that middle piece or that quote unquote chess piece. But that chess piece could become a Vietnam for niggas. That chess piece could become the quote unquote piece that sets the whole thing off. It could be the piece that sets World War Z off because Venezuela brings China and Russia into the whole thing. That's Mog and Gog and Magog and all of that. You know, all of these things are at play, ladies and gentlemen. You're seeing it play before your very own eyes. I just want you to know what it is that you're seeing and whatnot. I want you to know what it is that you're seeing. So let's go to the tapes. We got some tapes on what's going on in Nigeria. Where's the Nigerians that I would love to talk to y'all, Nigerians? You know what I mean? Especially the ones that voted for him. So tonight, at my direction as Commander-in-Chief, the United States launched a powerful and deadly strike against ISIS. They back in the news. Terrorist scum in northwest Nigeria, who have been targeting and viciously killing primarily innocent Christians at levels not seen for many years. Well, they're doing that in the Sudan, sir. What about that? They could see the blood from all the way in space, sir. There was so much killing being done of Christians in the Sudan that satellites from space could see the blood-soaked soil, not the concrete, the soil. The soil is already red. It already has a quote-unquote red hue to it. And it was so much bloodletting that you could see it from space. So if that's the excuse that they're using, we know that's a crock of shit. We know that that's not what they're there for. We know that that's not why they're bombing. We know that they didn't even get permission to bomb. We know that them bombing a sovereign country is an act of war, ladies and gentlemen. So under my leadership, our country will not allow radical Islamic terrorism to prosper. May God bless our military, and Merry Christmas to all, including the dead terrorists, of which there will be many more if their slaughter of Christians continues, right? So once again, do a group of bandits who grape women, children, men, and carry on like hyenas, do they deserve to be targeted and put down? Yes. Yes, indeed. Most definitely. Hell, mother effing yeah. Yep. But guess who should be putting those people down? Private military contractors like Wagner Group and other people, not the United States government. That don't got nothing to do with them. You know what I'm talking about? That's not their business. They are not the police of the quote unquote free world. That role is not their role. So we know that this is an imperialistic move. It won't even take 6 months before they show their hands that they're thirsty to run up in Niger, and then from Niger go up and try to get with our people in Burkina Faso, also setting up all of, just having a reason to be there. Remember, they kicked France out. They was packing up America and getting them up out of there. America needed an inroads into Africa, and they found Onika, Nicki Minaj, and Nicki Minaj, her bar magic, whatever magic that she's dealing with, right? Whatever she's dealing with Hollywood magic. She's dealing with Hollywood magic. Yeah, Russia is supporting Burkina Faso. Exactly. So what's the powder keg that creates World War Z? Anything that gets stepped on anytime, if they're gonna ramp up, what if they put boots on the grounds in Nigeria? What about a possibility of robots on the ground? They're going to show you through Nigeria how it'll be a drone war or AI war versus ancestral magic war. Pay attention. The same way that it happened with the Houthis and whatnot. Those Houthis in Yemen, yeah, they got drones, and yeah, they got counterinsurgencies, and yeah, but they were using some other shit that's not to be talked about on YouTube. Okay, they tapped into some old ancient shit, and a lot of other people are too. Don't make no mistake about what was going on in Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, even Gaza. When you want to go ahead and peel under the layer and talk about what spiritual aspects or what supernatural things may have been occurring in that war. But what I do know is an article came out, and I believe it was Vladimir Putin. They are declaring a war against witchcraft. They're declaring a war against black magic, right? So then America, they're at war in South America, and now they're at war in Africa. It's two things that are prevalent in those places. That's natural resources and that's magic. That's natural resources and that's magic. And I feel that there's a vested interest by this administration who is on a crusade. These are Christian crusaders, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. America Kirk, J.D. Vance, and all of them. These are not it's not a regular administration. Pistol Pete and all of them, Stephen Miller and all of them. That's not an irregular administration. They are dealing with in-world prophecies, eschatology, and whatnot. This administration is carrying out the crusades. Facts. They're going to build the third temple. They're carrying out the crusades. That is a fact. Okay? Make no mistake about it. So this war is translated to the culture war. This is a part of the culture war that probably has a multi-billion-dollar budget, and they probably have a lot of people working in the quote-unquote the dark side of the government to upend and to disrupt, to surveil, to create dossiers on to follow people who they suspect to be wizards, warlocks, shamans, anybody that got powers. They're looking for them. Like the TV show The Boys, where the Supes, right? Homelander was in charge of the Supes, and the Supes were looking for they were looking for A-Train and all of them. The other yeah, that's kind of like, in so many ways, that's kind of like what's taking place, where, you know, they are targeting a certain group of people and whatnot, and they're utilizing people like Nicki Minaj almost like a skeleton key. She opens up the door. This is the queen bee, right? This is the queen. She's the queen of hip hop. She's the queen on the chessboard. Her album is called Queen. Her whole persona is queen, 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 queen. She has queen radio, right? She has the queen. She has a beehive. She has the barbs that will attack you and whatnot. But she's also a plastic Barbie doll. She's also a plastic Barbie doll. She's also a part of the BBL. She's the face of the BBL movement. She's the face of these women who have adopted a very almost like it's almost like they've adopted a fusion mentality from, like, it's a multi-personality infused tetrad, right? Because it's dealing with narcissism. You get this whole thing about the barbs. They push that mean girl shit. So it's very dark tetrad. Almost the same thing that, remember, Diddy raised her. Diddy groomed Onika. And they're kind of like not even talking about that. He groomed her like he groomed little Kim, y'all. They gave her, he ran through, because he's the A&R. He's still the A&R, but he just A&Rs these artists a little bit different, if you understand what I'm saying. She's an idol that a lot of youngsters worship. So she is the queen of the gays. She's the queen of young women. She's the queen of young women who grew up to be adults and whatnot, who gave birth to young women, right? Her influence stretches across continents. I would say that she has a very solid stronghold in, like, the Caribbean, right? Also in places like Africa, right? The one who has the most stronghold is Beyonce. Then it's like Riri, and then it may be her, right? And did I get that correct? We're not talking about the States. We're talking Caribbean, UK, Africa. Is Beyonce, is Riri, then she's probably the number 3 in terms of the influence that they have on women of all ages, of all demographics, of all brackets. Okay. And those women around the world are being influenced by, I could give you about 6 or 7 of them. Sexy Red, Lotto, what's her name? Nicki Minaj, Glorilla, whoever's in the Girls Gone Wild shit. The what's her name? Jocelyn. Riri has more pull in the Caribbean than Beyonce. Nah, I don't know about that. I know she got pulled, but I don't know about that. Ice Spice. You can't practice anything in the occult in certain countries. You'll go to jail or dead. But the certain countries and the government can't. What countries are that exactly? I really would love to know. America's favorite ninjas. Number 1, Snoop. Number 2, Shaq. Number 3, Kevin Hart. Just look at the commercials. You got Doja Cat, right? You got Ice Spice is instrumental to maybe the little girls and whatnot. You feel me? They all succubus, my nagas. Yeah, that's a given. That's a given. We know what the archetype, what they've created them through videos. The videos create the archetype. The videos are the videos create a design language. It creates a narrative around you. It creates a brand around you, right? Destiny's Child. Saudi Arabia and other Muslim countries will take your life if you practice in dark magic. That might be true, right? So a lot of people in Saudi Arabia, they carry out their magic in the form of quote unquote the hedonism that they are participating in with black women, and the harems that they deal with, and the little boys I heard that they're dealing with and whatnot. So they're carrying out their quote unquote magic in their hedonism, right? Dubai, you will pay a fine or death if you do dark magic. There are signs posted. They call on jinns in Saudi Arabia. Pakistan, they do that too, right? So, right, people are committing it. They're doing their shit behind the doors. Then you live in kingdoms that have been conquered by these demons, by this dark force. It's almost like in the Game of Thrones when when Cersei and them took over. Like when Cersei and them took over the kingdom, it was just dark. They were doing black magic in the open and whatnot. Then remember the homie and them came in and they got super religious and whatnot. And they grabbed Cersei up and they was trying to convert her. Remember that in the series Game of Thrones, where they had a religious uprising, but it was like they let a religious sect into the kingdom, and that religious sect turned into be zealots, and they turned out to be even more dangerous than the maniacal kingdom of the Lannisters, right? They turned out to even more. They turned out to, yeah, the shit backfired on her ass. She tried to get them in there and use them, and they wound up damn near committing her and excommunicating her and burning her at the stake. Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power was all about dark magic. Give me a list of all of the dark magic movies, y'all. Give me a list of all of the dark magic movies, please. I need that. I'm bringing back movie night. You feel me? We definitely bringing back movie night because Lord have mercy. It might be on Discord, but we're going to do the movies, man. Harry Potter, definitely Harry Potter. Definitely Harry Potter. So I want to bring up the fact that Pluto and Scorpio, right? So certain movies are created during certain cycles and whatnot based upon the precession of the equinox, right? So the films that resonate with the Pluto and Scorpio energy, I'm gonna read a list of them as soon as I read a list of these movies that y'all dropping, because boy oh boy, y'all got me ready to go to Blockbuster Video on this bitch. Y'all are going in. Doctor Strange, Metropolis, Donnie Darko, Doctor Strange and whatnot. You feel me? Lovecraft Country, The Exorcism, the one with Russell Crowe, right? The Sixth Day, Black Mirror, Dark Crystal. I suggest everybody go back and watch Dark Crystal. If you bout that life, Dark Crystal on 5 grams. If you about that life though, Dark Crystal on 3. You feel me? If you about that life, you know. If not, just watch that shit with some Manischewitz, and you'll be all right. You know. So here's a list. Take a list, y'all. Take a snapshot of all of these movies and actively seek to watch them. Right? With the looking at it through these rose-colored glasses, looking at it through a new lens, being able to re-examine it through a new lens. The Dark Crystal. Harry Potter. Yeah, they made Cersei do the walk of shame. Somebody should take the AI and give Nikki the walk of shame like they did Cersei. Man, the day Witches of Eastwick, there's going to be a day where we could literally sit on this show and just call out different prompts or different AI pictures that we could just think of while we're vibing and whatnot. And somebody's just in a flow state and they're just knocking that shit out. Warlock, Hellraiser, Harry Potter, Dark City, Merlin, right? We got The Craft, the original one and the remake, Lords of the Rings, Dark Crystal, Hellraiser. We got The Island. We got Dark Crystal. We got Constantine, Tales of Egypt. You know, I'm talking about Constantine, Hellboy. We got The Shining, The Ninth Gate, the whole series, True Blood, Metropolis, Dr. Sleep. We got a classic, Poltergeist, Donnie Darko. Here comes Dark Crystal again. Black Mirror. We got Lovecraft in the building. Exorcist, Dark City again. Ninth Gate, Dr. Sleep again. The Ninth Gate again. Warlock again. Fantastic Beasts. We got Hellboy popping up again. You know what I'm talking about? Black Cauldron. We got Dark Crystal popping up again. Right? Definitely Donnie Darko popping up again. American Horror Story with Angela. Candyman, y'all. Dark Crystal, y'all. Wishmaster, Eyes Wide Shut. We got we got movies to watch. Load Him Up, Welcome to Derry, Avengers Endgame, Spirited Away. Where's the one with Dreams May Come? Y'all didn't even throw that in there. With Dreams May Come. With Robin Williams. That was it. Hostel, American Psycho. Where's Mickey and Mallory? Blair Switch. The Blair Witch Project, Splice, woo, with all of them personalities. Black Phone, Valerian, The Exorcist, The Seven with the head in the box, Spawn with the comedian with Joey, when he was the clown, The Crow with the Bruce Lee son, The Brothers Grimm, City of Angels, y'all. Of course, The Matrix, Vampire Diaries, the first Chucky, all the way up to The Bride, The Red Dragon, The Gate with Johnny Depp, Devil's Advocate with my guy Al Pacino. Of course, that was a classic. And before Morpheus becomes Morpheus, he's in The Devil's Advocate. Dr. Sleep is a fucking classic. The only king we acknowledge is Steven. Superwoman. Hell yeah, Superwoman was fire. The Omen. The Last Dragon, right? The Vampire in Brooklyn, Wheel of Time. Surrogates with Ving Rhames, where he was AI. The Game of Death. Da Vinci Code. So we got a bunch of movies, y'all. The Howling, I Come in Peace. Who remember Body Double? City of God, The People Under the Stairs. Agatha All Along was Deep in Dark Magic. That was fire. Demon Knights. Inception, y'all. The Venom Saga. Come on, what we talking about? Zeitgeist. What we talking about? The Craft, Penny Dreadful, Nightmare on Bumbleclot Elm Street that set this whole shit off. Prometheus, Elysium, which is required watching, and The Mouth of Madness, right? The Real Poltergeist. Everything, Anything, Everywhere, All at Once. Willow was the shit. All Star Wars was the shit. Dark Crystal came out in like 84. The Truman Show, Sandman, woo, the Sandman series on Netflix, all of them, both of them. Blackula, the Carrie movie with they're all gonna laugh at you. Mortal Kombat, Gummo, the clip that they took, the Tekashi 6ix9ine had took the Gummo clip in his video. The Fourth Con, The Exorcist, right? A Scanner Darkly, Queen of the Damned, The Leviathan, The Lawnmower Man, Tales from the Crypt, super scary. Jacob's Ladder, Serpent in the Rainbow, the Scream series. So We got Pluto and Scorpio energy, right? We got Pluto and Scorpio energy, okay? These movies explore intense dissolution, hidden truths, psychological extremities, sexual politics, and metamorphosis, right? So the movies that deal with identity, psychic power, and eternal collapse. This is our, you know how they have the Bobby Hemmett book list? Well, this is going to be the movie list, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be the Dark Matter Think Tank movie list. The Dark Matter Think Tank, DMT. The Dark Matter Think Tank movie list, ladies and gentlemen. Write that down, please. On some ritualistic shit. Write it down with a pencil if you can. A number 2. Write that down. Dark Matter Think Tank. All of the T's are upside down crosses. There's a lot of T's in there on some Vanna White shit. They're all upside down T's though. Dark Matter Think Tank movie list. Right? Tales from the Hood. The Island of Monroe. The Island of Dr. Monroe. Final Destination. Jason. Samuel Jackson. Glass. Scream. Right? The Prophecy. 1, 2, 3. Charlie. Pan's Labyrinth, y'all. The Sixth Sense. Woman in a Black Dress. Children of the Corn with Malachi in them. Smile. The Lost Boys. And The Entity. The Fallen with Denzel. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Dreamscape. Charlie, y'all. Minority Report. Yes, he used to go in. Yes, definitely he would go in on the dark movies. Blade. Devil in a Red Dress. Right? Lucy. Meet Joe Black. The Substance. The Spell with Omari Hardwick, who turns out to be a ghost. Right? Omega Code. Beyond the Door. Child's Play. Vanilla Sky. Fire. Pluribus. Fire. The Running Man. Oh. WandaVision. Super deep. That needs to be rewatched. Total Recall. The original was Schwarzenegger and the new one. Cabin in the Woods. Phantasm. You got to see that on a big screen where he had the fucking globe, the orb and whatnot. The 80s ones. Forsaken. The Wood. Pause. Somebody said Diddy, The Reckoning. The Predator and the new Predator is a must see too. 8mm is a must see. Demolition Man. Equilibrium. Dawood. Yeah, these are the Dawood videos. The Fury. The Underworld. Hellraiser. Fire in the Sky. The Never Ending Story. They Live. Queen of the Damned. Terminator Judgment Day. Whale Rider. The Witch. Ravenous. The Last Action Hero with Schwarzenegger. The End of Days. Eve's Bayou. Alien and RoboCop. So let's go through these. I'm gonna go through some of these real quick too with the Pluto and Scorpio. So we got Scanners. Remember Scanners, right? We got Videodrome. We got the Terminator. We got the Fly. We got Dead Ringers, right? Then we deal with Obsession, Desire, and Control. That's Scorpio. Obsession, Desire, Control. Basic Instinct. That's in 92. Interview with the Vampire. That's in 94. Ghost in the Shell. That's in 95. That's Cybernetic Identity and Consciousness through anime, right? Interview with the Vampires dealing with immortality and longing. Remember, they wanted longing for love and whatnot. They wanted to be loved. They wanted that emotion, right? Basic Instinct was a sexual power play. Okay. So early post-human and the tech identity themes that came through, you had Terminator 2, Judgment Day. You had Blade Runner. That's in 82. Terminator 2, Judgment Day is in 91, right? So the core Scorpio archetype in these films is the body, the mind, and the shadow, right? They all collapse and recombine under pressure. Pluto doesn't just change you, it destroys the boundaries that keep you comfortable. So we got Pluto in Capricorn, 2008 to 2024, power structures and post-human systems, right? So the movies that align with that they came out with is Wale, right? AI and post-human identity, right? So we got Wale, right? And then they came out with Dale as an AI art tool, but you have Wale, that's in, or Wall-E, right? That's the machine inheriting civilization. Then you had human dependence and whatnot. Then you had Ex Machina. That's in 2014, and that dealt with AI autonomy, right? And the creator / creation hierarchy. Then, of course, you had Her, right, with Joaquin Phoenix, who plays a Joker later on down the line. That's in 2013. That's emotional AI as the societal pivot and whatnot. That's the giving you the idea of men having AI girlfriends. That's why it's a big trend right now, because they were primed in the early quote unquote 2000s or the mid 2000s with movies like Her, right? Movies like Her, right? Johnny Five, American Psycho, right? Enemy of the State, okay? Five is Alive, Woman in the Yard, Our Robot, right? Ex Machina was a video game, and it deals with mech. Yeah. Blade Runner, right? Blade Runner 2049, Simulant, The Artifice Girl in 2022, Megan in 2022, The Creator in 2023. That was a war with AI and a human role in creating and destroying it, right? Then they give you AI and societal collapse, systems breakdowns. So that's Black Mirror, the series that starts in 2011 up to now, is giving you decentralized tech dystopias. Then you get the movie Upgrade in 2018, from AI implants to post-human augmentation. Then you have Identity, Control, and Machine Logic. That movie would be Ghost in the Shell, 95. It bridges Scorpio and Capricorn. Human / machine integration became a hallmark of later AI cinematic explorations as well, right? So Capricorn cinematic archetype. Pluto here externalizes transformation. We see systems that govern us mutate. Corporations, governments, tech empires, AI governance, and economic machines. So Pluto transit comparison, Scorpio versus Capricorn. These are the film themes. So you got Pluto and Scorpio from 83 to 95, right? That's identity dissolution. That's psychic and the subconscious and whatnot. That's sexual power, breaking the taboo. That's transformation from within. Then you got Pluto in Capricorn, which is 2008 to 2024, and that's institutional collapse instead of identity dissolution. Then you have systematic technology instead of the psychic and the subconscious. They focus on systematic technology. Instead of sexual power and taboo from Pluto and Scorpio, you have AI powered. Okay, you have AI powered and structural tech. Okay, then you have transformation through systems, not transformation from within like a human, transformation through systems and whatnot. Okay, and then you have a societal and a structural shadow. But yeah, man, there's so many movies that we're gonna cover. There's so much shit that we're gonna touch on. There's so many secrets and gemstones, or what they like to call Easter eggs, in these movies that we were being programmed when we were watching them, even with our subconscious, what they call monkey brain and whatnot. It was still soaking all of this information up. It came through your pupils and your eyes and whatnot. You just got the information. It's your job to decode it now. That's all that is. It's just your job to decode it. But let us continue. Let's talk about Africa real quick. Let's stay in Africa and let's talk about what the hell is going on with our brothers on the continent.
Prophecy is in. More arks are needed for the 2026 Christmas flood. So this is the Christmas flood in the South Africa fire part 2. And I wish I was joking, but this gets really crazy. From tens of thousands of people selling everything they owned and traveling to him, to him leaving people stranded, to the craziest irony we'll ever see. To God saying he stopped the flood, and now there's another flood coming in 2026. I'm telling you, and none of this, believe it or not, is the crazy part. So I had to take my viral video down on the Blue Button platform because Igbo Noah himself came to me with a copyright strike. So let me give you a really quick rundown, then we'll get to the craziest part. So Igbo Noah warns of a Christmas flood. Then he buys an $80,000 Mercedes-Benz, I guess they can float, the day before the flood comes. Then he repents, prays to God, and God stops the flood. Then he goes on TV shows, and now there's another flood coming. This is still not the craziest part. So on this Christmas flood day, all of a sudden, randomly, coincidentally, we had fire warnings all over South Africa. And of course, we have California flooding like crazy. And we had mosques being targeted, all on the day his flood was supposed to come. So last night, after God supposedly answered his prayer and stopped the flood so they could reach salvation, they were partying. And today, on Christmas Eve, Igbo Noah was spotted on a beach. He had lost a potato sack, and now he has sacks of Nikes as he's selling to people. And I would bet you those are fake too. Now, important distinction, I'm not undermining the sackcloth that was used in the Bible, but rather undermining the guy with a mouthful of blasphemy making money off of lies. And I have a feeling the people of Africa are not going to let this slide. He better take that floating Mercedes into the ocean and get lost. But knowing him, he'd come back and say he was swallowed by a whale.
Shout out to the Africans doing what they do, being African. You know?
For Papa we Liberia, I be drew her and Napa we. And Napa you also see her see by you who near ope. So by before a bono wa arkano. And no by arkani papa ya butu you. More when the bono wa kofaba. Or see of Liberia. Liberia be drew her and Napa. Osiasa ye who see about ye nim sense here or tea. And no that's it you. Happening you all the way from Liberia. I be drew Elmina saw before Ark no shiniha. And for Momba papa you no Liberia Wabeka Elmina or before Ark.
He don't even have no hair to be braided. If he had like some nappy hair, his shit was out, at least he could have got braided by the African ladies while they was roasting him. You know what I'm talking about? He's just sitting there with a bald ass ashy head with nothing to do. He probably sold he sold his scooter, his crib, and everything to go float on the ark.
Ebono wa ark no papa nusu. Mobo.
Lord God. My dude is in his hustle bag. So, as you know, and you don't need me to tell you, the Nicki backlash has not stopped. It's only gotten louder. It's only become more stronger. And especially with the strike on Africa on Christmas Day, that Nicki Minaj literally helped to create. She's Colin Powell in the situation. That's Nikki Powell, ladies and gentlemen. She's Colin Powell with the yellow cake. So if World War Z breaks out because of what's taking place, if this string of events leads to a world war, it'll be powered by Onika from Trinidad. I don't know her last name. Is it Onika Minaj? But she literally put her energy, Roman Polanski, whatever that artist that she's trapped inside of her, she literally put her co-signature, she put her hand on that Bible, and she helped push that war. She damn sure did that. That's what she did. That's what she did. You know? While playing like she ignorant. While playing like she don't know nothing. Yo, these people's out here cooking. Let's go.
Apparently, Nicki Minaj want all the gay boys to take off them pink wigs, and she wants you to stand in front of her while she yelled at you, "You a motherfucking man-child." What the fuck is going on with Nicki Minaj? What the dope man done gave Nicki? Nicki been high for a year. Now, don't get me wrong. I like that cute bitch. I like Nicki Minaj. She's very talented. Nicki Minaj out here sitting down with these pale people, talking to them and shit. And the same pale people want us shipped to Zimbabwe by boat, bitch. These motherfucking bobs, they like, y'all don't understand her. Y'all don't know what she doing. Bitch, do she understand her? Do she the fuck know what she doing? But you know what? I get it. It ain't Nicki. It's Roman. It's that motherfucking Roman inside of her. Turn her loose, Roman. I don't know what the fuck going on. Ain't nobody talking to Nicki. Where the fuck is her husband at? Oh, he probably in Harlem, bitch, with her credit card buying everybody pizza. And the new Jordans. Nah, that's New York. Some fresh Timberlands. I don't know what's going on. I just want the bitch to make more songs. And then 3 of my trans sisters, they hit me up on the phone crying and shit. Lonnie, the queen don't like me. I'm like, bitch, do you like you? Lonnie, I buy all her music. Well, look, you bought enough. Try to support your little brother. He got that mixtape out. Y'all don't believe in him? Support him. Don't worry about Nicki right now. She on the journey. Help your little brother get rich so he can help you with your trans ecstatics.
So apparently she got all of the people from the alphabet community panties in a bunch. If there's anybody from that network that's in the audience, you know, can you verify that Nicki is canceled, or did they throw her a quote because she's such a big asset or ally for that matter, because her credit line is so strong and whatnot? Was she forgiven? Was she forgiven, or was she thrown away? I want to know. You know what I'm talking about? I would like to know if there's anybody out there that knows that's a part of the Barbs or anything. Like, could we get some insider scoop? You know what I'm talking about? Could we get a little bit of insider scoop, please? Yeah. So yeah, let's continue with the Nicki train. Oh, Nicki, darling Nicki.
I know you're not gonna do any of these things, but for the sake of this video, since the Barbs will not leave me alone, step into my office. First, divorce your husband by Friday. Today is Tuesday. By Friday, I know you're on Pacific Standard Time. I need it by 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Divorce your husband. Everything started going downhill when you started dating that man. And if we're really here to clock tea, a lot of what people can say about you is because of the husband that you chose. Knowing his past, knowing his victim, knowing the things he has going on, it's still choosing to marry him and align your legacy with him. Divorce your husband. Second on the docket, I don't ever want to hear about you doing anything for the Trump administration again. Whether you personally align with their values, because I don't think that this is that far-fetched for you, I don't want to know about it. I don't want to hear about it. I know you might think, well, because the Democratic Party likes Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, I'm going to go with the people who must like me. No. I don't give a damn. I don't ever want to hear you and Trump in the same sentence again. Whether things are going on in Nigeria or not is not for you to fix, because I don't hear you fixing anything domestically. So again, never want to hear about you and Trump again if you want to keep your fan base, because a lot of them are gays, a lot of them are black, a lot of them are immigrants just like you. I don't know why you would do that. Third on the docket, Nicki, I need you to heal whatever this weird relationship that it is with you and female rappers. In the last 5 years, anytime we see you with a female rapper, it's someone who is never in the same league as you, someone who never has the same amount of talent as you, someone who's never going to go as far as you have, and someone who could never carry the torch. There's 4 different women I am thinking of when I say that. I'm not here to be messy, but none of those bitches could hold a candle to you, and you know that, and that's why you work with them. I don't know what your relationship is with female rappers, but I need you to heal it. I don't know what Little Kim said to you once upon a time that hurt your feelings because she was going out as a mean B word and not the queen, but now you are in the same predicament. I want you to be happy. I want you to be single. I want you to give us a single. I want you to give us a album. And I don't want to hear about you and no Trump and no random man from Queens ever again. Ever again.
So that's the reckoning that I'm talking about, right? People are still trying their best to not believe what they're seeing. They're still offering lifeboats. They're still giving her a bridge to come back across. They didn't completely, you know, burn the bridge for her. They didn't Joe Button her. They didn't block her and unfollow her. 10 million people unfollowed her, right? 10 million people unfollowed her the first 2 days, right? But I do agree, whatever role that is she playing, this is a role, ladies and gentlemen. This is a part of whatever they are following a script. This is undoubtedly, hands down, the WWE. Okay, this is nothing but the WWE, ladies and gentlemen. White women entertainment, right? White women entertainment. Who is Nicki Minaj entertaining, ladies and gentlemen? Who is Nicki Minaj entertaining, ladies and gentlemen? Going once. Is it number one? Black men, right? Is that who she's doing this for? Is she entertaining black men with her brand and the choices that she's making? Is she's entertaining black women? Going once, going twice. That's the second option. Is she entertaining white men? She's gonna give white men a show. Yes, indeed. She's definitely gonna give white men. She's handing over her barbs to white men. She's handing over her barbs to Wall Street guys, frat boy guys, the MAGA types. There's going to be a diverse, what do they call it? A divestment into that world. She's gonna send her minions into the quote unquote the far right grinder, right? But what really is a problem that I see arising is the fact that she's decided that white women are going to be her entertainment moving forward. She decided that white WWE, white women entertainment, is what will sustain her for many more years to come. You know what I mean? And of course, the black women that decide to hold on, and the black women that decide that they're going to, it's really not that bad. We're going to be led into the America Kirk party. They're going to have us at the turning point twerk off. You know what I mean? Like they'll merge the two worlds and make it make sense. Nicki Minaj and America Kirk are making a song for Charlie Kirk that's supposed to come out right around the New Year's, giving me Every Breath You Take P. Diddy vibes, Missing You vibes, right? With Nicki Minaj and Erica Kirk making a song about Charlie Kirk. Nigga, that's white women entertainment, right? That's white women entertainment. This is WWE, and Triple H is definitely writing a script. All of this is scripted. She came out of stage left. Like what? Like that's your girl. It was crazy. It was crazy. So this is the grand stage. This is central casting. Make no mistake about it. This is The Apprentice. This is another level of reality telling for Donald J. Trump on a higher level, the highest of levels, right? And while all of this is going down, these files are dropping. These pictures are dropping. Things are beginning to reveal
stage. He claims Candace Owens,
right? This whole thing is beginning to show itself. Okay?
At all planned months ago. And you know what? Just to put a nice little final bow on Nicki's cancellation and her ruining her own career, right? This I know isn't related at all, really. It was planned months ago. It's just now coming out. I know. But I just think it's so funny, like universe-wise, how things really line up like this. One of the things that I keep seeing people comment is like, oh my God, you were a judge on RuPaul's Drag Race, girl. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It just came out, the new, lineup of guest judges for the new season of Drag Race, which comes on in, a week now at this point, a week or 2 weeks. And literally guess who their big, guest judges that they're promoting. Cardi. Oh, I know that's gotta hurt. I know that's gotta hurt. And you know what? Good. Good. Like I said, let that be the nail in your cancellation. Because, girl, fuck you. Literally, fuck you.
So the monster that she created is going to consume her. The monster that she created is going to consume her, and that's going to be black gay men. That's who's going to get her. They're going to read her for filth. The same people that she created is coming for her, bro. Make no mistake about that. They're going to take her ass down. The way they're going to read her, she ain't going to want to come outside.
Is alive.
Charlie's in Whitsec.
Yeah. It's heating up. So many theories are beginning to grow legs, find their credibility, you know. So interesting.
Kirk asked Nicki Minaj to talk about her relationship with God, and in that moment, Nicki Minaj had to decide how much of her background to go into.
When I was a toddler in Trinidad, if the kids and grandkids were arguing or fighting, she would make all the little kids go in her room and make us say and say a prayer.
Why would the little kids have to go into a separate room while the older kids are praying or being made to pray, she said. From what I understand, when she was 2 years old, her parents moved to New York City. She did not join them until she was 5. That would definitely have an impact on a child.
When I was like 10, 11, 12, I started going to church in New York.
She doesn't go into the fact that her father was a drug addict or that she would come home to find furniture missing because he sold it so he could get drugs, or that he would be violent, there were holes in the wall, or that he burnt the house down.
I was hearing the word of God be preached, and then I was going home and I was applying it to my life. Even as a little girl, I learned how to pray very early. I always had this faith that made people think, you know, the kind of faith that you think a person is crazy, like, oh, please, like, you know.
She doesn't mention Roman, which would have been pretty cool because, you know, Jesus was into that whole casting out demons thing.
Roman is a crazy boy who lives in me. He threatens to beat people, and I ask him to leave, but he can't. He's here for a reason. People conjured him up, now he won't leave.
I believe it was 2024 when she indicated that Roman had left the building. I've been up all night. I think it was 2024.
I got baptized. Yep. Amen.
Same kind of crowd that cheered when J.D. Vance announced that his kids go to a Christian school. Water doesn't save you, and going to a Christian school doesn't make you Christian, just like going to McDonald's doesn't make you a hamburger.
I have just always applied those teachings to my life. I try to.
Nicki Minaj, not exactly someone who I would consider is living a moral life.
We're not perfect. We try. Lately, I've been feeling like
the pauses are long and it's incredibly awkward, and I don't want to pick apart her faith. I do think it's worth discussing because she is like selling herself to this crowd.
You know, like if you haven't seen a long lost best friend for a long time and you bump into them again, that's how it's been feeling for me. Like just going back to God and praying and talking.
Nicki Minaj was so great in the movie The Other.
Is this your queen, nigga? Is this your queen? That's your queen, bro.
Woman with Cameron Diaz and Leslie Mann, who is freaking hysterical.
Now it's just, I'm thinking about, is God pleased with this? Not if the bullies and uglies are pleased. You guys are amazing, okay? Know it, feel it.
Just like Erica Kirk, she avoids saying the name Jesus, which doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it does say something.
Man, I remember telling we've been talking about them Bible thumpers all year. We've been talking about them Bible thumpers, the revival of the Bible thumpers. You know what I'm talking about? We seeing that shit play out. But check this out. While she was at Charlie Kirk's doing all of that, right? While she was over there, this was going on.
You can see from behind me, this is a recreation of the tent where, and you can see from behind me, this is a recreation of the tent where Charlie Kirk lost his life at Utah University in September, and people are taking selfies with it.
So at the same event where Nicki Minaj was at, they had a replica of the tent where Charlie got shot, and you could take selfies in it, right? These are the people that put raisins in the goddamn potato salad. This is how they do their thing. The necromancers. And that's what she did. She got put into that world right there. You know what I'm talking about?
And he was on a podcast and he was saying after attending a recent, there's a comedian named John Christ, and he was on a podcast and he was.
Hold on. Let me see something.
You know what? Just to put a nice little fun.
Nikki, what is you doing, baby? Nikki, what is you doing, baby? You really at the Klan rally right now? You an immigrant girl. Turning Point don't even like you. They don't want you here. People will do anything for money or relevance. The desire for spotlight and fame be having people moving with no code, no pause, no pride. Whenever you are willing to humiliate yourself, even to the extent of turning on your own people to stay relevant, it's a bigger problem going on. See, that's that dark side of fame. It's that constant hunger to be seen, to stay on. But it's not ambition. That's panic, dressed up like hustle. So you'll betray your own values just to stay visible. If your self-esteem rises and falls with the algorithm, that's a mental disorder, baby. You need help. I'm not even joking. You're dopamine addicted, starving for validation. When your morals depend on whether you are trending or not, it means your ego is on life support and you're literally using the internet as an IV drip to keep you stable. And the cold part is, the relevance never loves you back. It only demands more. Do it louder, go crazier, and then you'll start casting cheaper versions of yourself until there's nothing left but a character you created that you don't even recognize. Cause this version of Nikki that we've been seeing lately, unrecognizable. And if she hasn't gone too far before, she's gone too far now. Because once you go on that side over there, especially in these times now, don't think you about to come back. We good. I just want to tell all the Barbs, I'm so sorry. I know y'all are grieving right now. I know how much y'all love Nikki, and I know how disappointing this must be to y'all. It really is sad. Not just for the fans, but for black women. Because that's a huge slap in the face. That's betrayal for the people that have upheld you all of these years and supported you, fought for your integrity. And on that note, y'all should be pissed.
Big Fendi on Vlad coming. Safari on Vlad coming. Nicki Minaj's sister on Vlad coming. She got a weird sister. Nicki Minaj's little sister, Sister Minaj on Vlad coming. You know what I'm talking about? Phone call with Nicki Minaj's brother on Vlad coming.
Why is it that every single time someone...
I'm gonna let Brosy talk to us, man. Hold on.
Talking about fuck the streets, nigga.
I think we passed kneeling.
So apparently Nicki Minaj want all the gay boys to take off them pink.
So my question is, does her war with this guy still go?
We passed kneeling. Yeah, I think it's time. I think we passed kneeling. Yeah, I think it's time to go into actionable items. So what are we going to do?
So what's the difference between Jay-Z, the way that he be working his shit, and with the way that she's doing it? They both, in a sense, are soft cooning to corporate interests, right? You know, they both dancing for something that could benefit them.
Okay, why is he proposing? Why is it that every single time someone exposes the money?
it that every single time someone exposes the money trail, a random tragedy suddenly drops out of the sky. Because that's what just happened at Brown University. It's not random, it's patterned. 2 days before the shooting, Brown published a report showing the US spent over $33 billion on Israel in 2 years. Then suddenly, a campus with 800 plus cameras can't produce one clear shooter angle. The only footage released hides the face. The person of interest gets instantly released. The shooter is still unknown. And the story is already shifting every few hours. And the victims, a Christian conservative student and an 18-year-old future neurosurgeon. People who represented future influence. Ask yourself, why do the smartest campuses always become the quiet battlegrounds for narrative control? Look at the timing from the Bondi Beach shooting. Exactly 10 hours and 42 minutes separates the two attacks. Look at the angles. Look at the silence. Providence police literally said, "We shared what we have." How do you have 800 plus cameras and that's all you have? Brown is literally one of the most surveilled campuses in America. This wasn't incompetence, it was choreography. Look, when a system wants confusion, it gives you noise. When it wants obedience, it gives you fear. Comment, scroll, and anchor your scroll scan. Your field needs clarity, not chaos. Look, here's the pattern most people miss. When money, power, and perception collide, universities become narrative laboratories. They misplace footage, they contradict themselves, they release statements that cancel themselves out, and they hope the public scrolls on before the timeline stabilizes. But the field always reveals where the real pressure points are. What if this event wasn't about the shooter, but about what Brown exposed before it happened? Look, there's a reason all of this feels off, and it's not because you're paranoid, it's because your field is picking up the distortion. Comment, scroll if you want to unfilter.
Comment, scroll. Jeremy, I love the fact that she gets under your skin, Jeremy. That to me is a plus. Sometimes you need to get shocked a little bit, Jeremy. You know what I mean? I need your feathers ruffled. You know what I'm talking about? Because your troll meter, your shit is up. You know what I mean? So yeah, if that shit gets under your skin, let me keep putting them up.
Link. Okay, why is he?
Matter of fact, I'll get back to you, my guy. I got something for Jeremy, since Jeremy is saying what he's saying about Brosy O'Donnell. You know what I mean? You'll get this Brosy work. Hold on. Let me listen to my
Neuralink. It's part of transhumanism, right? Everything. Okay, why is he proposing Neuralink? It's part of transhumanism, right? Everything goes back to Jacob Frank. What does Jacob Frank believe? He believes that what matters is, at the end of the world, is the spirit becomes flesh. You understand? The spirit becomes flesh. What matters is not the mind. What matters is matter. Second thing he says is, listen, your laws tell me to fast, to suffer. I don't.
We'll come back to that. We got to come back to that. I'm jumping ahead of myself. I'm coming back. We're going to come back to that, my guy. That's dealing with Epstein. That's dealing with transhumanism. That's dealing with this whole DNA shit that they was doing on the island, splicing, all of that. You know what I mean? That's dealing with MIT. That's dealing with Harvard. That's dealing with the links that Epstein had with Stephen Hawkins. All of these scientists, all of these quote unquote transhumanists and whatnot. A majority of the people that was on the cover of the Time magazine that were called the men of 2025 or the person of 2025. A lot of those people on that cover are linked to Jeff Epstein and their quote unquote advanced eugenics program, ladies and gentlemen. Their advanced eugenics program, ladies and gentlemen. But check this out. This is about Candace, and this is about that far right thing. And this is what I was saying the whole time. But there's people that are publicly speaking about it, right? That's how we know that this whole Nicki Minaj, she's down with this program because it's central casting, it's a stage, it's TV, it's reality television.
Comedian named John Christ, and he was on a podcast and he was saying after attending a recent Tucker Carlson party, he realized the world is a stage. He claims Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Turning Point staff were all friendly with each other behind the scenes at this party. While he was at the party, he's wondering what's going on, and someone came up to him and told him, like, listen, this is all for entertainment and career development. This isn't what you think. After he was told that, he was saying on the podcast, he's talking about, I hate to say this out loud, but everybody is friends. So they want you to think that this is all, everyone's divided, like the people in power, the politicians, even the Democrats, the Republicans. They want you to think they don't like the other side and they got beef, but behind closed doors, they're taking shots of 1942 tequila. And if you watch any of these top people, you're pretty much wasting your time. By you watching these people, you gotta also have to understand, yes, they have to throw out some truths or no one would watch them. But at the same time, they can't tell you the real.
So Candace's new campaign is against slavery. I might pull that up tonight, and I might pull that up tomorrow or the next time we come through, because we got to talk about Candace. We got to revisit Candace. Candace is going to get her own segment. That's not going to be for right now, though. But Candace definitely has her own segment coming. But let us continue. Let us go.
Is alive. 100%. Epstein's death was first reported on 4chan. 38 minutes before any news outlet could break the story of Jeffrey Epstein dying in a prison cell, a poster on 4chan revealed it. Their identity remains unknown to this day, but police suspect it may have been someone at the hospital in New York where Epstein was taken. Don't ask me how I know, but Epstein died an hour ago from hanging, cardiac arrest. Screenshot this. 50 in the field. PT transported to Lower Manhattan ER and worked for 20 minutes and called hospital administrator, was alerted, preparing statements. Not saying anything after this, please do not try to dox me, but last night after 4:04:15 count, they took him medical in a wheelchair, front cuffed, but not one nurse says they spoke to him. Next thing we know, a trip van shows up. We do not do releases on the weekends unless a judge orders it. Next thing we know, he's put in a single man cell and hangs himself. Here's the thing. The trip van did not sign in and we did not record the plate number, and a guy in a green dress military outfit was in the back of the van, according to the lower guy who let him through the gate. You guys, I am shaking right now, but I think they switched him out. This is the official timeline of the 4chan post revealed in the court documents of the U.S. versus Ghislaine Maxwell.
So when you look at the Epstein case, really, a lot of the shit from the Epstein case points to the fact that he, the possibility of him being able to get up out of there and switch out is not a zero possibility. It's not a zero possibility. The guards, the two black guards that were young black guards in Brooklyn, allegedly they were both sleeping on the job. There's no video. It's just a lot of discrepancies. The Charlie Kirk thing, there's so many discrepancies in that, in the Kirk situation, that the only possible solution that I could look at, and it would make sense to what I'm seeing, is that he's alive, and that Candace was told that he's alive, and that when she came back from that meeting, all of that grief was kind of like off of her. She don't have that same hunger. She doesn't have that same. She said Shabbat Shalom on her first show back, and she was very relaxed, and her spirit was at ease. Why was it so at ease? What was she shown? What was she told? Because if she was shown the body or some shit, or if she was shown, the smoking gun, she would have probably said that in her rebuttal. She didn't say that. So the way that she was giving off the energy, it was like, sis, what the fuck did you see? Because you're low-key sitting there smirking. You don't look sad. You don't look tight. You don't look vindictive. You look like you got a lot of questions answered, and it wasn't necessarily who killed Charlie. It was Charlie ain't even dead. That nigga was FaceTiming you from Valhalla. And your girl, Erica Kirk, who was at your wedding, y'all had already talked about this whole thing from the giddy up, because like I said, the 3 months of Candace Owens talking about Charlie Kirk, it worked better than 3 months of Erica Kirk talking about Charlie Kirk. So her script is finished with, is coming to a close. The same way in World Wrestling, with this scripted by the McMahons and the scripted by Triple H and them, they phase out certain characters and bring in new characters. You know what I'm talking about? So Candace was on fire and she did her job, right? The way that she promoted Charlie Kirk, Erica Kirk couldn't do that. Erica Kirk would remind people why she would remind people to go and research Charlie Kirk. Like this is a fake woman. So he must have been as fake as her. They both was fake. Let's be clear. She's a fake honeypot, but he's a honeypot too. He's a beard. You know, Charlie Kirk looked like he'd be on Grindr and whatnot. There's a transformer who's exposing his OnlyFans receipts. But if you look at him, he looks like that. You know? He's very Kirky. You know what I'm saying? Kirk Cameron looking ass nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Kirk Douglas looking ass nigga. Like, what are we talking about? You know? Remember the Baby had an album called Kirk? Maybe remember the Baby had an album called Kirk? But think about Candace speaking about her ex, I think, lover. I would say that they were smacking bellies at one point. You know what I mean? Candace looks a little freak-a-leaky. You know what I'm saying? You know, Candace, I don't want to say anything, but, you know, she promoted that man to black women. She promoted that man to white women and humanized them, normalized them, and created a stan culture. She created a cult for Charlie Kirk. She strengthened the Charlie Kirk meme martyr program. And Nicki Minaj also came out and endorsed the Charlie Kirk program because her standing with the ex-wife or the grieving widow and whatnot, with her being locked in with the grieving widow, she sanitizes the Charlie Kirk narrative because that is like getting on stage. Imagine if Betty Shabazz, right, after the quote-unquote unaliving of our good brother, the Shining Prince, got on a talk show with Farrakhan. I'm not using it in that type of thing because they were at odds in the end. You know, they were at, that's not a secret. It's like Betty Shabazz pulling up with the ops. Nicki Minaj on stage with Erica Kirk sanitizes everything that Charlie Kirk ever said about both black people, women, Africa, whatever you could call. He was very bigoted in his stance. It was a super lily white, cracker barrel state of quote unquote worldview. He had a Zionist, pro-evangelical, the type of preachers like Kenneth Copeland and them that say that slavery was good for the soul, like Campbell's soup. That's what they dealing with. That's the type of people he's aligned with. He's aligned with billionaire donors from the far right and whatnot that deal with all type of atrocities on the continent in South America, pillaging villages, all type of shit. These are trust fund babies. These are all a part of the system. They would never want to give up their race. They would never want to give up that card that they hold in their pocket and whatnot. You know, don't fall for the okie doke. Don't fall for the okie doke.
It's protect. It's the only thing that makes everything make sense. Charlie is. He's in witness protect. It's the only thing that makes everything make sense. And the thing is, you might want to think that he's in WITSEC because he was afraid of his wife, which could also make sense, but I don't think that's what happened. And I think that also explains why Candace has been being weird and why Candace has laid off of Erica. I think she got information that Charlie is alive. The wife knows, probably the team knows. I'm going to take this one step further. I don't think he was ever actually married to Erica. I think their marriage was a fake marriage for whatever mission is going on behind the scenes. I think Erica's an agent. She's probably married to the other guy, Cabot, and her marriage to Charlie is a complete facade. That's why you never see faces of the kids, because those kids are props. They're not their kid. The WITSEC thing explains everything. It explains why ChatGPT thinks he's alive. It explains why there was no autopsy or any of the normal things that happen when somebody died. It explains why Erica is fake crying all the time and why she's so confident and happy. It explains Candace. It just explains everything. So who was he really afraid of? And the timing of Erica's pregnancy? She's probably pregnant with her real husband. You know what? This also explains why Candace wasn't invited to Charlie's wedding, but he was invited to her. Because there was no real wedding.
People starting to ask questions, Charlie. Or Charlie old bow. Damn, what happened to her voice? Her fine self talking that talk. Talk that talk, man. Come on, sis. Talk that talk. I hear you. I hear you.
The Ring of Fire just woke up, and in the last 24 hours, Ring of Fire just woke up, and in.
So let's go now to this.
Why is he proposing Neuralink? It's part of transhumanism, right? Everything goes back to Jacob Frank. What does Jacob Frank believe? He believes that what matters is, at the end of the world, is the spirit becomes flesh. You understand? The spirit becomes flesh. What matters is not the mind. What matters is matter. Second thing he says is, listen, your laws tell me to fast, to suffer. I don't want that crap. I want to enjoy my life. Okay? And the third thing is, this world cannot have been created by God. It was created by Satan. Because why would God allow us to die? Therefore, we must defy Satan by living forever, okay? Now, if we understand Frank, we understand the idea of transhumanism, okay? This is a guy with his own bionic eye that records things. This is a guy with his own arm. This is a new trend in the future. What is transhumanism? The capacity to live forever, okay? This is the future that we're looking at. If you're a rich person, if you're a powerful person, this is what you will experience. You will experience longevity, health, and beauty, okay? You will have organ transplants that keep you young. You will have stem cell therapy to repair any cancer, any diseases. You have gene therapy. You have blood transfusion. You have replacement bodies, okay?
These are the promises that they're giving people who are in politics, that are in their 80s, that are in their 70s and whatnot. They are knocking on heaven's door. They will do anything to be a part of the transhumanistic idea, or they'll do anything to get their bodies frozen and be reanimated. They'll do anything to transfer their consciousness into a young viral body and whatnot. That is what they are willing to do. So they'll sign certain things off. They'll enact certain type of statutes and laws and whatnot. They'll get behind. They'll allow certain companies and businesses and industries to lobby them because they are chasing the quote unquote fountain of youth.
You will be 20 years old forever. You have great sex. You'll live forever, okay? This is if you are a billionaire. Everyone else? Well, first of all, you become a cyborg where you are now specialized for a certain function, okay? They're gonna put microchips in your body So you can become a better accountant, okay? They'll turn your arms into cyborg, bionic arms, so you can be a better construction worker. Who knows, okay? Microchips inside of you, the mark of the beast. What does microchips do? They are digital ID and digital currency. And guess what, guys? If you're not happy, they'll know about it, and they'll give you drugs to make you happy. If you think this won't happen? They've already have everything in place, okay? Addictive drugs to control mood. Oh, and like, if you're lonely, don't worry, man. That's what AI is for. You have an AI girlfriend and boyfriend, and you know what? Most people would prefer an AI boyfriend and girlfriend, okay? Okay? And then it'll be an individual matrix where you live in your own world. So think of World of Warcraft, but in the real world, okay? Where everyone who's your friend, your entire family, it's all just AI generated, okay? You live in a perfect world.
Yeah, shout out to the professor. He be dropping shit. But I don't know if y'all noticed. I don't know if you've been made aware. But there are a lot of things going on weather-wise. I don't follow a homie from Nigeria that was talking about the floods. However, there were a lot of flood activity.
The prophecy is in.
Okay, there's a lot of flood activity going on. The ring of fire, the volcanoes went off.
Charlie's in Woodstock.
So
You
yeah,
can see from behind me, this is a recreation of.
let's check that out.
I know you're not going to do any of these things.
Kirk, ask Nikki.
I think we
Let us check that out.
Last 24 hours, several volcanoes. The Ring of Fire just woke up, and in the last 24 hours, several volcanoes have started erupting again. Japan's Sakurajima is still active with eruptive events and ash plumes. In Russia's Kamchatka, Sheveluch is still producing activity, and the ash that has erupted has drifted up to 250 kilometers north. Then, up in Alaska, Great Sitkin is still slowly erupting lava inside its crater. In Guatemala, Fuego is in constant eruption mode. In Indonesia, multiple volcanoes are active at once. Semeru is erupting, Merapi is producing repeated lava avalanches, and Merapi has sent ash plumes up recently. Ibu and Dukono are also continuing eruptive activity. This proves that the Ring of Fire is active in multiple places at once. More active vents mean more chances of sudden escalation. Share this video to help people stay aware of what is happening across the Ring of Fire, and follow me for real-time updates.
Yeah, so pay attention to this whole thing with the Ring of Fire. Let us go to a commercial, ladies and gentlemen. This is your smoke break. We'll be right back. We're going to get a word from our sponsors before we get up out of here. This is V-Cell CMOS. If you want to order your CMOS, all you have to do is scan the QR code that's right there above, right next to the word lames and right above the counter, okay? That will be available to you. We ship overnight and we ship chilled. The bottles will come chilled. You have to chill it. You have to keep it in your refrigerator, but it is a CMOS gel. You can eat it right out the jar. It tastes like applesauce. You could make a sandwich with it. That's how good it tastes. And you could feed the babies with it as a substitute for the baby formula because it is CMOS and it has everything that the baby needs in order to activate their quote unquote God genes. All right, so check it out, y'all. We'll be right back.
V-Cell in my cup, I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by CMOS. Glow from within, yeah, we never fall off. Count it up, 99 minerals, flaws. V-Cell in my cup, I'm feeling right. Sip to the sunrise, dance to the night. From the ocean's kiss to your city lights. 21 flavors, pure health in every bite. Drip so clean, we're custom made. From reef to street, we elevate. Gold green gel, set the record straight. Nature in a bottle, that's a better way. Charge me up, no caffeine crash. Clean energy, steady splash. From skin to gut, yeah, we live from within. Wellness on 10, let the rhythm begin. Pour it up, pour it up. Feel the wave, body thanking me. Every sip, ocean wisdom in this glass. sell magic, CMOS. They selling my car, I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by CMOS. Glow from within, yeah, we never fall off. Count it up, 99 minerals, floss. Island breeze in the city maze. We're mineral rich in 1,000 ways. Immunity high like the summer rays. Hydrate the hustle, fuel your days. Berry, mango, ginger, lime. Pick your flow, your flavor, your time. Beauty and balance we redefine. Every little sip, align your shine. Wait up, feel the way. Body thanking me for every sip. Ocean wisdom in this glass. We sell magic, CMOS. We selling my car, I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by CMOS. Glow from within, yeah, we never fall off. Count it up, 99 minerals, floss. From the coral choir to the heartbeat drum. Roots run deep where the wild tides hum. Real ones know where the glow comes from. We selling the mix now, watch us.
Yes, star. Yes, star. Yes, star. Yes, star. Get your CMOS, ladies and gentlemen. Get your CMOS, ladies and gentlemen. Get your CMOS. This nigga said, get your CMOS. Look at what Jeremy said. Yo, Jeremy, man, I'm gonna have to. You got to come on camera one day. Because I promise you, I know that this server is with the CIA somewhere. You gotta be a bot from Botswana, Jeremy. You smell me? You gotta be a bot from Botswana, bro. The way you be on this bitch trolling. Man. So look, man, let me see. Did it have anything? Yeah, I think we covered what we needed to cover, ladies and gentlemen, on this Thursday, on this Christmas and whatnot. You feel me? Like I do think we covered what we need to cover. We will have more things to cover. We're gonna be having we got a special show coming up tomorrow. Look out for that. Make sure you're subscribed and whatnot. Shout out to Spin. Shout out to everybody tapped in. We have more big announcements coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Before I get out of here, I'm gonna preview a little bit of something. Yeah, music is on the way. Music is on the way, y'all. Definitely look out for that. You dig? So yeah, real talk. We out.
This is for the culture. I shifted roles, now I'm dripped in gold. Red and blue Kachina, like Krishna's soul. Here to save all of you Christian souls. We went from lifting poles, now we wrapping gifts. Yeah, Christmas bowl. Slugs, we throw them bitches. Drugs, we roll them bitches. Hugs, we know them bitches. Phototypical photo glitches. Factory semis with the auto switches. Bitches from the Puerto Riches. I'm grateful, went from being wasteful. Now my season's living. Yeah, feed the rhythm. Then I balance it out with the hedonism. I'm in the spectrum. Yeah, I see the prisms. This is food for thought. I can feed a prison. One day I was typing up a white paper. The next day I woke up to some white neighbors. Protected by some Jedi Knights with the lightsabers. Diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist smoke, you stay up at dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck so. Every player gets snipped nose. Acting gay up in Cisco. Like take the day off and play up at Mistos, causing chaos and play up Calypso. I paused in kitchens and caused addictions. I paused prescriptions and caused inflictions. Lil Bixby playing in stores in Brixton on the dark web. You gotta pause every doors, cause encryptions. Tesla engines, pause the pistons. I seen every floor I leave sore enlisting. For that action, they sponsored the Bronson. They was hooked on that shit like Johnson and Johnson. That freeway, Ricky Ross, straight out of Compton, straight out of Bompton. Red on blue, violence in the land. The projection of the will, the perfection of the kill, the reflection of the pills. I'm a frontline soldier, I'm no doja. These crystals not from focus and crypto. Diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist smoke, you stay up and dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up from Frisco, and you say what the heck so. Every player gets lips now, acting gay up in Cisco. Might take the day off and play up for pistols, causing chaos and play up calypso. Hickory dickory down, hit a lick, put the sticky in the box. When the blicky get hot, lick off a shot. Heavy in the meadow, we slip off a knot. Heavy in the ghetto, they crib walk a lot. Crib walk the crypto, lift off the stocks. Drips off the crystal and pots. Disco rods in the blocks on my chain from the crystal shop. In the light air, lift off the rock. Toe from the right chain on my block. White paint on my socks. White paint on my socks. Hickory dickory dock. Hit the lick, put the sticky in the box. When the blicky get hot, lick off a shot, we lick off a shot. Payers in crypto, diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist smoke, you stay up the dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up from Frisco, and you say what the heck so. Every player gets lips now, acting gay up in Cisco. Might take the day off and play up the pistols, causing chaos and play up calypso.